Welcome to the video blog. I'm at the T3 PRSA conference with Saul Hansell, who is editor of the Biz blog at the New York Times. Welcome to the video blog.
It's great to be here.
Great. First thing, what are you covering at the Biz blog, and what's a day-to-day feel of what you're trying to get in on that blog?
Bits is a broad blog that covers the spectrum of technology as a business story. Consumers read it and talk about what they use, but it is mostly a blog about the business and the social impact of technology. We will cover everything from personal technology, business such as the iPhone, to enterprise technology, to what's up with Yahoo and Google and Microsoft. I am the full-time editor, but we've recently been increasing the staff, so we have Claire Miller covering startups, we have Ashley Vance covering enterprise technology, and we have regular contributions from the rest of the Times technology staff, including John Markoff and Steve Laura and the rest of them.
Right. Now, is Bits really just a bigger canvas for you to put what you just can't fit in the paper, or does it take a different approach?
It's a little of both. It lets us get a little more detailed than we have room in the paper, but as a blog we can do things that newspaper stories can't. Like any blog, we can link to other stories into the discussion of the day, so we can help be part of a broader discussion, and we can foster a discussion. Readers comment, and interestingly in our blog, a lot of times the news sources will comment, and so we end up having an ongoing discussion between participants and some very knowledgeable readers about the technology topics of the day.
And I think it's the smart news sources that are engaging in the discussion, because that's what they need to be doing, obviously. Now, how do you encourage them to be involved with your content? Let's say you do a story about an organization in a certain area, and there's maybe a competitor, someone else in that space. Are you encouraging them to jump online, get in the discussion as well?
I'm not so much necessarily saying if I do a story about company A to call up company B to get them to comment. Much more likely I do a story on company A, they feel like some aspect of it isn't fully fleshed out, or they read what readers say and they want to add, and they will come back and either post comments, or I will append the post or do a new post. We can create a much more dynamic dialogue between newsmaker and sources. Sometimes we'll set them up very explicitly as a forum with reader questions, but often it happens impromptu. Somebody, instead of a newspaper story, somebody calls up and complains, and if it doesn't reach the level of a correction, you don't do anything about it. In the blog world, somebody says, well, you missed the shading of what we really meant, and I say, all right, write it down and we'll put it up. So I think that blogs, at least the way we're practicing them, make for a much fuller articulation of truth with much better information than the once-a-day newspaper world.
Time for a couple more questions here. And how is what you're doing in the blog having an effect on what you cover in the paper? Is it changing it at all?
Well, we have more people now, so you just have more feet on the street and more sources, so the overall organization just is smarter. A lot of times I'll start writing a story for the blog, and it might be interesting for the paper as well. We in fact print 4 Bits items every week in the Monday business section, so we're publishing in both directions now. And a lot of times reporters who are writing stories for the paper will also write a blog post with extra information or other angles or things that come up, so the blog can help extend into this more interactive world. Reporting that in the past would have had to live within the confines of a certain number of column inches.
Great. And final question, you mentioned in your discussion that you'll look at video if that's really the best way to convey and tell the story. Are you sort of getting a direction to try and include video content in the blog, and do you see it moving in that direction in the future?
We will include video links that we produce, or on rare occasion, if there is a piece of video that demonstrates something where the video is really the best place, we'll link to it. We will use any medium we can. We are getting more small cameras in the newsroom and trying to figure out how to use them. It's a lot of work, so there's a challenge to us. I wouldn't encourage your viewers to lead with a video press release. It's not useful that way, but if video is really the best way to communicate information, we're now in a world where we can use it pretty easily.
Yeah, and a lot of it from a pitching perspective, I think, is about making sure you're aware of the background and making sure it's easier for you to understand, as opposed to, hey, this is something we want you to just put on the New York Times blog. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But thanks so much for being with us.
Glad to help. Thanks for having me.